Hello and welcome to the Bonehead Championship. I'm Ben for the Bonehead Podcast, and this is the match preview to end all match previews. It is time for the final game in the Bonehead Championship. Now, on the screen here, we've got the two teams. If you are listening and you don't want spoilers, it's potentially too late, but we've played 5 rounds with 6 teams. We took the top 4 teams and we played 2 semi-final games, and we've been left with our top 2 teams, and the final is coming next weekend, and it is going to be between the Neverbay Nightmares, our Skaven team, and our Wood Elf team, the Wild Hunters. So as this is the last match preview of this season, we've already started brewing up and working on the next season, so it shouldn't be too long. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the teams, we're going to have a look at the coaches, we are going to have a look at the matchup, and then we are going to take one final look at this season's Viewer Championship. Now, before we take a look at the teams, I think it's probably worth just taking a couple of minutes to look at how our finalists got there. So the Wild Hunters and the Neverbay Nightmares are the top 2 teams. They went into the quarterfinals, semi-finals? They went into the finals, they went into the playoffs, seeded 1 and 2, so they've actually managed to carry it out and end up in that position. We have the 2 Wild Tiny Titans who went through to the finals as well, and the Marienburg Minotaurs, both of those teams losing. The 2 Wild Tiny Titans ended up with 1 win, 3 draws and 2 losses, and the Marienburg Minotaurs 1 win, 2 draws and 3 losses, so both those teams did very, very well. Black Mountain Buccaneers finished 1, 2 and 2, didn't make it into the finals, and the Midheim Crawlers had a terrible season, bless them, and didn't get a single win. 3 draws and 2 losses for the Necromantic team. We had a great season, and all of these teams had some absolutely brilliant moments. It was a shame for them to drop out, and it was a shame to say goodbye to them. Now, we're going to be moving into a different format for the next season, but we will absolutely be coming back to 11s, and we will absolutely be bringing some of these teams back. So I'm going to be running the Wood Elf team this time round. Again, I've done well with them. I'm feeling good about them. So the Wild Hunters are 5-1 and 0. We have not lost a match. Can we go and hit an almost perfect season? So, we are a War Dancer down in our last match. One of the War Dancers got, well, he got rather deaded, I think. Then we apothecaried it into a miss next game, and we are sat at 120k of the 125k that we need to buy a War Dancer. So we cannot replace that War Dancer. I thought we might be able to, but it's not going to happen. So we're going to take that money and we're going to roll an apothecary in the match using just our treasury. We're going to burn 100k. It doesn't affect petty cash because it doesn't affect your CTV. So we're just going to bin that, get an extra apothecary for the actual match live. Now, what we do have, though, is a nice team of Wood Elves. We've got Englyn Deathblade, our War Dancer, Sidestep, and had 8 SPP left over after the last game. Dude. Block, dodge, leap, sidestep, tackle. This is going into a game against a bunch of Skaven. They've got a bunch of gutter runners who have got strength 2 and dodge. Sidestep, leap, we should be able to get a pretty good attack on one of those dudes. It should be 2 dice, and we've got block and we've got tackle now on this one War Dancer. So Englyn Deathblade is going to be basically our safety for this match. With the other War Dancer out, we were left with our Star Thrower, 2 catchers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 linemen, and of course our Tree Man as well. So Glodril Okan was out last game, is now back. We've got Leader and we've got On the Ball. Was she out last game? No, I think she was in last game. Anyway, Leader and On the Ball. So we've got our 4th reroll. 3 rostered rerolls plus Leader, excellent. Now that Thrower is a fantastic player in and of themselves. No sure hands, but movement 7. On the Ball is going to give them 3 extra squares of movement, 2+ quick, and 2+ quick pass there because of the passing 2+. We should be able to get plenty of spread with Glodril Okan. Now we've got 2 catchers. We've got Hunia Lightfeet with block, and we've got Lethia Freeheart with block. We're going to have to watch out for number 5 because -1 armor means it could be a bit of a target. We saw this in Ian's last game. He's fine picking out the vulnerability and piling on the pressure, and has a little bit more success at it than Blood Tithe versus Hackflem throughout the games. So we could see that one be a bit of a vulnerability. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 linemen. We've got a dodge tackle linewood here. Elmwood Blooms rolled a random general after the last match and got tackle. So dodge tackle becomes our second safety. We've got Liminal Everstream kick kick is going to be huge in this game, and the Skaven kicker died after the last game in the same way that all Skaven kickers die. It's very, very sad. For the Skaven team, great for the Wood Elves. So we've also got a blocking lineman too. So we've got a pretty decent amount of block. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 block pieces. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 dodge pieces. We've got 2 tackle. We've got those movement, those fast moving catchers as well. And then of course we've got Maple Spine, our guard tree. Now we're going up against a Rat Ogre here, so Maple Spine being strength 6, already bigger, and that guard presence could be really useful for keeping Wood Elves alive on the line. This is basically going to end up a bit of a kaiju battle, I think, for the Rat Ogre versus the Tree Man. And our Wood Elf team is going to be facing off against a pretty great Skaven team. So the Neverbay Nightmares were piloted to success in Ian's last game, so they are now 3-1-2. This team has got 3 rostered rerolls, and a bunch of stuff. So we've got 1 Rat Ogre, we've got 2 Blitzers, we've got 1, 2, 3 Gutter Runners, 1 of the Gutter Runners rostered. So the 4th Gutter Runner is missing this game due to an injury from last game. We've got a Thrower, we've got 2 linemen here with some skills. Rotten Ratkinson, the Wrestle guy, he is also out for this game. So let's have a look and see what they're running before we flip over to the second page, where there's a couple of great pieces. The Toxic Rat Venger has been medium throughout this entire season. However, Strength 5, Movement 6 and Frenzy is going to be pretty good against vulnerable light targets like the Wood Elves. Wood Elves tend not to cage, they tend not to screen, which means the Rat Venger is probably going to have a great opportunity to blitz and remove somebody every single turn. We've got Quetch Barb Hunter, the Blitzer. I think the first guy died. Anyway, he replaced him, and he's now got Tackle after the last game, I think. And Buzz Justice finally leveled up and took the classic Buzz Justice skill. Buzz Justice is a long-running player in our league. Mighty Blow. So we've got Tackle here on a Blitzer, Movement 7 block and Tackle. We've got Movement 7 block and Mighty Blow. So between the Rat Ogre with Mighty Blow, Frenzy Strength 5 and the Blitzer there having block and Mighty Blow, that's potentially 2 really good bits of removal for this team. Now 3 Gutter Runners, 1 of them having Wrestle, means that there's plenty of score opportunity for those for the Skaven. That's 3 Movement 9 pieces with Edge 2+ and Dodge. It's plenty scory, shall we say. Now Clip Warp Slinger is a thrower on our team and does have Accurate, which means this dude is Movement 7, Sure Hands, with the pass reroll, meaning that tied in with Accurate, it's going to be a 1++ and a 2++ for a quick and short pass. So that thrower, paired with 3 excellent runners, is a really threatening scoring front. So we've got plenty of bash at the top here with the Rat Ogre and 2 Blitzers, both leveled up, and then plenty of scoring, plenty of dash with a great thrower, potentially the best thrower in the game. Probably not. I think the Wood Elf one may... No, he's got Sure Hands. Yeah, alright. Anyway, we'll ignore that because I bring it up all the time. We've got a couple of linemen here with skills as well. Now, the kick guy died. The wrestle guy is out. Now, what we saw in the last game was a myriad of linemen with skills. It's less so now. However, Queet does have block, which means this team essentially has 3 Skaven Blitzers. Now, Feskit having tentacles could be big. Now, there's some catchers on the Wood Elf team with lower strength. Strength 3 tentacles works brilliantly against Strength 1 players. It will work okay against Strength 2, and it's not going to be hugely effective against Strength 3. So I think it might be a case of that tentacles may come big, but I wouldn't be expecting it. And on page 2 for this team, we've got Stormnose, the random tackle lineman. That's huge too. So we've got 1 Blitzer with Tackle, 1 lineman with Tackle. So the Wood Elves have got 2 safeties, and the Skaven team has got 2 safeties. They've both got 1 big guy as well. Now Victim is the new player for this team. This team had enough to either replace a Gutter Runner or pick up a lineman to kind of buff it out to 11 players. Ian chose to go for the lineman. It kept the TV down at 1200, which gives him 150k in inducements. And you know what 150k means. It's time for the Wizard. We've talked through the teams and we kind of talked through the coaches, but this is where we properly hit the coaches up and then talk about the matchup. So I'm going to be running the Wood Elves. We've had a good season with the Wood Elves, and Ian's had a pretty good season with the Skaven too. So Ian here is going to be... That's the wrong picture. That's not actually Ian, but this is a guy that's working for Ian in this match, because Ian has got Zagor here to be his...
Wizard!
That's right. If you played The Legend of Zagor, great game. Awesome. Silly little sound box. Anyway, Ian is going to be taking the
Wizard
on his team, and it was talking about Zagor that I think convinced him to do that. It's an exciting way. There was a couple of other inducements that Ian could have taken. He could have gone the route of a keg and an apothecary, could have gone the route of fungus and a keg, but this is a winner takes all situation, and Ian was like, this is going to be exciting, we've got to go for the wizard, and it's going to be big. So Ian is a heck of a coach, and my last game with him, he was actually piloting the Skaven and defeated the Tootwold Tiny Titans. This is a bit of a revenge match now. Ian and I have been playing Blood Bowl for 20 plus years against each other. We've been playing war games between us for 25 years. So this is now the biggest match of the season. It's the final, but it is also my opportunity to get revenge on Ian. And he's running my team in the Skaven. So this is a tier 1 matchup between some very experienced coaches and some really good and experienced teams now. This is huge. I am so excited to see this play out, especially as Ian has got that wizard on his team as well. So if Ian can use the Skaven team and the wizard and beat me, I will feel like I'll be utterly defeated by my own tools. But let's face it, the Wood Elves are not a bad team. I am a War Dancer down, but I've got a tree, I've got 2 apothecaries, we've got some tackle. This is going to be a big match, and Ian plays very well, so I would think I'm not going to get a chance to tree man his Rat Ogre in the face without working hard for it. I think he'll use his Rat Ogre as a bit of a behind the line linebacker, even on offense. I think it's going to be a case of deploy guys on the line and then blitz with that guy. He's got 2 blitzers and a block guy as well, 3 gutter runners and a star thrower. Both of these teams have got plenty of toolkit. Wood Elves having kick is going to be massive. If Ian doesn't deploy with a strong front on him receiving, there's a very good chance I could drop the ball short and get in there. Now, when you've got movement 9 gutter runners, actually, you've got pretty decent coverage in the backfield, so it's going to be a really interesting one. Whoever wins the kickoff is going to have an advantage. I don't think I want to receive to start the game off, so that could be interesting, where Ian can, because he's got that Rat Ogre, that block element, and basically that 2 mighty blow, and a little bit of an edge when it comes to combat power. I think it's going to be his advantage to kick, but that's definitely to receive. Sorry, but that's definitely how you lose the 2-1 grind. I don't think this is going to be a 2-1 grind kind of game. I think it's going to be close, and I don't know who's going to win this. It depends. That first 4 turns of this game is really going to set it up. This could be a blowout on either side. If his removal takes out some of my pieces, it's going to be a challenge, and I think we're both sitting at 11-12 players, so we should have 11-12 with an apothecary at least a piece, so the attrition's not going to hurt us as much, I think he says. So I don't know, I can see the second half of both sitting at about 10 players, but both of these teams can do just fine with 8 players apiece. So you never know. We might end up with an 11s game for the first half and a 7s game in the second half. And you know what? I don't think anything in the world would make me happier. Anyway, that is the coaches. That is the teams. That is the matchup. Let's have a look at the Viewer Championship. So it is the last round for the Viewer Championship, and every game we've put up a preview match like this, and every game you have guessed the score. We are giving 3 points away, and it is 1 point for guessing the right outcome, whether it's a draw or a win, declaring the team, and you get 1 more point for each team whose score you guess correctly regardless of the outcome. So you can get up to 3 points in this challenge. Now, we've been going through the season. We didn't know how many votes we'd have. We've had many games where there's been over 200 votes, which has been amazing. So we're getting to the cutoff point now, and we are going to say that anybody who ends up with 20 points or more will win some Bonehead podcast loot, and we're going to change up things slightly for when we go into our next series. So we're going to put out some feelers and get some feedback for it. We want these predictions in by 9 o'clock UK Saturday morning, because the game will be going live 10 o'clock-ish Saturday morning for our Patreons and Sunday morning for everybody else. And I think what we're going to try and do is put a little YouTube premiere on there so it goes live, and we all watch it at the same time as it goes live, with the exception of the patrons, because they get premier access and they get the game early. It's going to be really good fun, so get your guesses in now. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the leaderboard for the last time during the season, and Papa Z has actually clinched the first place win. He called a 2-0 win for the last game, which scored him 2 points, putting him in there at 25. He cannot be caught up, but there are plenty of players that can still score that 20 points to win some prizes. So second place at the moment is Sam O'Dwyer. Sam has been right up there for the entire season and sitting 21 points, 4 points behind Papa Z. Third place with 20 points, we've got X Black Flag X, we've got Joaquin Solis, we've got 1000 Hats, Vaughan K, Zephyr Baby, Matt Risby, and Olubayu. Now, sitting at fourth place with 19 points, these guys have an opportunity to get in there and score some bonehead loot with 1 point for the next round. We've got Clive the Kiwi, John Naylor, Des Slaven, Lucas Moller, Wolfgang Heisel, and Durka Willie. And at fifth place at 18 points, so still just a couple of points away, we've got Liminality, we've got Stuart Shelley, Gecko 8, Daryl McFedrin, BD, David Warner, Blood Bowl Commissioner, and Brad McClurg. Also, Robert Zabowski. Nope, sorry, I've said that wrong. Zbikowski. Robert Zbikowski. That's my bad. Sixth place at 17 points. They will need to 3-point this one to get in there. We've got Waller, Mike V. We've got Xavier 26, Pat Paints, Ernest Cummings, Gareth Kirby, Trevor Quaig, Mr. Rip Giblet, Austin Faulkner, ATK Monkey, Dish Dash, Werfel Sturm, and Jesper Axelson, and Carl Messenger, who are all within that 20 points. It's been really great fun throughout the entire season. Papa Z absolutely nailed it there just to get that window. Still got an opportunity to score some points now, and this has just been so much fun. Full standings will be at the end of the video as ever. Okay, we've looked at teams, we've looked at coaches, we've looked at the Viewer Championship. We have got 1 week till the game comes out. I'm filming it with Ian this week, so I don't know what's going to happen. Skaven and a Wizard versus Wood Elves. I love everything that's happening on this pitch. This is a lot more edge than I was expecting. It's been a great season. So get your guesses in now, because it is going to be a fantastic game. My matches with Ian are always pretty tight affairs, and we have got some explosive offense here. I really want this to be a shootout, but there's every chance this could be an absolute murder fest and a cheeky 1-0 victory. But fingers crossed. I'll try not to hit the mic. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Get your guesses in below. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content, we get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead Podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.